Markets are bleeding, guys. It is an absolute bloodbath out there, down 30, 40, 50% on some of these altcoins. So today, we're going to be breaking down, obviously, the key levels that everybody wants to know about. What is happening right now? Is MtGOX the reason why everything is selling off? Are we about to see billions of dollars in whale money just dump on retail investors? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, guys. Today, it's time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
We got the roaring kitties in the comments here today with the diamond hands coming in, guys. So ultimately, yeah, markets are bleeding. I got DZ joining me this morning. He's been running
fantastic. I'm ready to talk about the markets. I'm ready to talk about the bloodbath. I'm ready to talk about, is it over? Should you give up? Should you just give up? Should we just give up all in crypto? Let's just pivot to AI. No. The answer is no. We're going to talk about some light at the end of the tunnel.
I thought he was honestly going to say give up and just get up and walk out. I was like, okay, that's the morning stream today, guys.
Not on crypto.
Going to zero.
Not on crypto. Never.
No, guys, let's go ahead and pull up these charts today, which of course, CoinGecko going to be a little bit red, but I get excited when we're seeing this much red. But first, let's look at the top 100. Bitcoin at $38,847. It's absolutely wild because if you were to tell me, Bitcoin was going to be at 38K back when it was sitting at like $6,000, $7,000 just, a few years ago or a few cycles ago, I'd be like, no way, I don't believe you. Now today, people are getting that itch and that fear and again saying, okay, are we going to go lower? Ethereum sitting at $2,200 after almost peaking at that $2,700 range. You have BNB at almost $300 a day. Solana, $80 below 100. XRP, honestly, just being a stable coin, acting at that 50-cent zone. And in our top 10, we have Cardano, 45 cents, which just seems absolutely criminal. And Dogecoin actually surpassed Avalanche here at that 77 cents. In the top 20, go for it.
Well, I was going to say, you said, we shared my screen real quick. You said Cardano, 45 cents feels criminal. I took it one step further and said treasonous.
Wow.
Allowing it to trade under 50 cents feels like straight up treason. So go out, show a little support to that comment if you think it's also undervalued right now.
That's some Edward Snowden plays right there. Yeah, we got to be under that. We got to be above that 50 cents soon. But guys, in the top 24 hours, we do have some actual movers today. We have BitSensor up 10%. SWI up, 1.9%. Hold on to your profits today, guys. Make sure you don't spend that all in one place.
Wait a minute. Go ahead and hit refresh. Hit refresh on that. Yeah, because SWI is a much nicer number.
Oh, wow. 69. There we go. 6.9%, guys. Yeah, we're actually getting a little bit of green now. It's coming back a little bit to life here. Chill is up 8.2%. Blur up 6.2%. BitSensor actually dropped down to that 4.9%. Sia Coin, we got Nick on the board here today. Man, how are you feeling about your bags just continuously pumping despite market conditions?
Look, this is what happens when you're part of the dictatorship.
Dude, you got to be a dictator to get all of the rewards while everybody else struggles,
all the mining
right?
gains all the time.
Is that how dictators work?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Not only dictators, we also have givers and takers. Givers and takers in the market. I just closed a long on Cardano. I just want to share that, everybody, on Blofin right now. We are going to have a link down below. We share my screen. I got in right around this level. I felt like a bounce was imminent. The pull down to the downside to shake everybody out and then up to the upside. And I do just want to share this. Closed it for an even 100 right there. So we're in the green. The streak continues. I don't think I'll open a trade live on stream. I wanted to keep it open, but it hit my target of profit, and you never go broke taking profits.
Yeah, unless you're never in profits, then you're like me. No, I'm just kidding, guys. We have on the negative 24-hour range, the favorite part, the buying the fire sell. Okay, this is the fire sale of crypto right here. Last 24 hours, we have Sats down 13.3%, already down 12%. You could see in the last hour, things are starting to bounce just a little bit. But the last 7 days is really what I want to pay attention to. Guys, again, we have altcoins down 30, 20, 40, 50%. And that's just in the last 7 days. In the last 30 days, again, we're talking top 10 cryptos moving down 30, 40, or 50%. I think Solana is down like 40%. These are your top market cap altcoins. while Bitcoin is bleeding down by 20-25% right now. So to me, this is an opportunity. And today we're going to be just jumping into the first article on why this is taking place. Why are markets going lower? Are they going to continue lower? Are we going to see a 34K? I saw a 25K. I even saw a technical analysis on Twitter today say $19,875. Very precise number. We're getting that bear sentiment again on Twitter.
What is it, 2022?
Yeah, I was like, man, it's like, and I actually said 19,977 cents. That's what that's my goal here. But Bitcoin plummets below 40K for the first time in 48 days, triggering market-wide crypto slide. So since early December 2023, guys, specifically since December 5th, 2023, Bitcoin's price has remained above 40K. Now, 40K in December is completely different than 40K in January. Everybody was ecstatic. Everybody was screaming for higher highs, screaming for 60K, 70K, 80K in December. They're like, 40K, we're back in this run. Now we have 40K in January. People are like, holy smokes, what happened? However, this high, guys, was short-lived. Subsequently, the price descended to 45K. We started getting that pullback here. And currently, the value of Bitcoin has dropped now below $39,000 even today, with a trade volume of about $26 billion. So short-term indicators reveal that Bitcoin, guys, is undergoing a downward trend marked by heightened volatility and notable decline in its worth. The recent dip in Bitcoin's price also filled something known as the CME gap. So this was a huge target, 39,600. We've actually spoken about this a few times on the stream here. But something I actually wanted to note it out. I will pull it up. I actually pull on my Twitter. There's another CME gap at 28K. So this is where analysts are now saying, oh, well, we filled this one. We got the liquidations. The open interest was wiped. Are we going to go lower to these levels? So this downturn in Bitcoin's value has triggered a ripple effect across numerous cryptocurrencies, contributing to the overall $1.59 trillion crypto market cap. So getting some red.
It's getting pretty red. I did say, I just wanted to highlight this. What did I predict for liquidations today? I said, probably between 2 and 250. And what did we end up at? $230 million. So just be careful out there, folks. Well, let's talk about some of the reasons why we see Bitcoin falling. One of the main reasons you're going to hear, and we're seeing, don't worry, again, we promise a light at the end of the tunnel. Josh has that light at the end of the tunnel right after this. FTX is responsible for $1 billion of outflows. You keep hearing about ETFs inflows, ETF outflows. Well, Sam Bankman-Fried is one of the main reasons we're seeing such heavy outflows here. Heavy flow days. A lot of people in the chat know what we're talking about here. Grayscale Bitcoin had existed for 10 years. Had $28 billion in assets under management, and then investors total $2.2 billion of withdrawals there, and SBF coming in half of that, $1 billion. So seeing a lot of significant drawdowns. But Josh, I tease that there might be light at the end of the tunnel. There's only finite Bitcoin. They can't keep selling forever. Do we have any data that can point to the people in the right direction? Where are we at with their selling? Or have they come close to exhausting it all? Is this just drop in the bucket? Is there more to come? What do we have facing here?
Believe it or not, so as of November 30th of 2023, DZ actually pointed this out this morning. FTX gets a nod.
Shout out to Ivan.
Shout out to Ivan for this. $873 million of assets was what they had to repay creditors just a few months back. Now, obviously, Bitcoin at this time, we crunched some numbers. We did it very broadly, very basically. But that $873 million, you could think to be worth probably 1.3 billion now today.
Yeah, what was that date? I'll do quick back of the napkin math.
Yeah,
we didn't
November
have time to do
30th.
this.
November 30th. We're doing this right before the stream.
All right, so Bitcoin, and we go to a 3-month chart just to see right around where it was around November 30th. And that was, they got the clear light to sell, and then we saw, nice, huge movement to the upside. Actually, since the recent dip, that's pretty close to where we're at today.
So they're at break even? Well, that might be exactly why, guys. You guys have been hearing about the sell-off of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Guess what was part of that Grayscale flagship product? Of course, this Bitcoin from FTX. So, this could be that moment. Again, we saw people are wondering, why would they be selling? These are people that purchase Bitcoin or Grayscale Bitcoin Trust through the bear markets at massive discounts. I think there was estimates where some people purchased Bitcoin for the equivalent of like $9,000. So, of course, when this ended up launching, these whales, guys, the smart money ended up just taking massive profit. They're embedded with profit at this point. And Grayscale, what are they going to be worried about? They have a product they can now market to all these retailers with the Bitcoin halving coming up. We have strong labor markets. Stock markets are hitting all-time highs. I think we all estimate and believe Bitcoin will break past that 6 figures. This could be very well why we're getting this pullback now. It was the launch of the ETFs. It's now the sell-off from all of the smart money that purchased in the entire bear market. That's going to actually lead us into a few articles.
They've combined our names. Benifer style, we got Jay-Z.
Jay-Z? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
DZ,
Okay,
Josh,
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. We'll take it. We'll take Jay-Z. Morning, everybody. Make sure you go and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We bring you crypto news 5 days a week. In fact, even on the weekends, we're dropping videos every day. So if you're just now joining, just now finding the channel, we appreciate the support there. But there's more FUD. And I'll let Josh tell the story. He has it highlighted. It's not just Sam Bankman-Fried. It's not just grayscale Bitcoin outflows. There's rumors of a mountain. And this mountaintop is going to send an avalanche.
Yeah,
and
so
that mountain's called MtGOX.
MtGOX. Shout out Jed McCaleb, who just completely dumped on XRP holders and made billions for years to come. He is coming back for, round 2. But MtGOX investors, guys, they are beginning to creditor verification ahead of 200K Bitcoin distribution. So what this means, they're going to be dropping.
Oh, it means I should just pack it up and leave.
Probably
200,000 Bitcoin.
Just
I'm done.
Pick it up. That is literally 1/50th of the supply.
All right, I got my hobo stick.
Actually, we're gonna need that to sell off, so that way we can pay for the heating bill here. So please return that. The tag's still attached to it.
Please return the...
Guys, yes, 200,000 Bitcoin is selling off. And this is the equivalent to, at the time of this article, was like $7.8 billion. So MtGOX is one of the earliest cryptocurrency exchanges. If you haven't heard about MtGOX, I really recommend we pick up Digital Gold, which is a fantastic book, which will give you the history of Bitcoin and crypto overall. But handling about 70% of Bitcoin transactions in 2014, it was attacked, resulting in the loss of 850,000 Bitcoin, worth $450 million then, worth now over $33 billion today. The attack was due to security weakness, leading to a breach and loss of user funds. So this is that FUD. This is what's kind of just coming in like a cannonball, hitting these markets, and ultimately, definitely having a price impact negatively where people are starting to claim it can go lower.
Well, I'm out because 200,000 Bitcoin, there's nothing that can offset that. And so I just give up unless there's some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, but I can't imagine. So I'm done.
I couldn't imagine. Let him leave because, guys, at the other side of this spectrum, we have Saudi Arabia at the same exact time coming out with Qatar rumors of purchasing 1 million Bitcoin. So when you hear this FUD, people like DZ are going to run out of here. He's already gone. He's probably literally out the doors already.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, they're buying 1 million. I'm in.
Man,
why
who would have thought?
Even leave?
Who would have thought? I guess, on Twitter,
God.
I got to tweet out on Twitter, guys, right now. Hey, Bitcoin back to 100K. These new lows. This was a shakeout. Yeah, it's not going to 26K. Guys, this is exactly the point that we're trying to cover. You're going to see when we get a massive pullback in these markets, fear mongers are coming in. They're going to push you with all of this fear juice to just farm those views.
Adrenochrome.
They're gonna start hooking you up and tying you with a rubber band. Just
there is a drug in South America.
Weekend.
They blow it in your face, and it does create this frenzy, paranoid state, and then they rob your house.
Is that what happened to the previous house? Is
Nick, you might know what I'm talking about. Justin Williams knows what he's. It's a real thing. But we do have someone that can help. Look at some key levels.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, they're going to try to chop Sui us out. They're going to try to chop us out, red candles this way, green candles this way. It's back. Haha, get you in. And then boom, take all the liquidity, take all your funds. And so what are these key levels that we can navigate these choppy waters so we don't get capsized?
Yeah.
Is there anyone we could talk to?
One can ask, are systems going down? System of a down. I finally got one. I did it, guys. I got one.
I wasn't even going for that, but I like it.
Really?
I like it.
But
I think of chop suey. I think of food. Not
the amazing
songs.
One of the greatest songs ever. Wake up, Sam. Welcome to the stream today. What are we looking at in the charts here? I know we're screaming, having fun. It's one of those bloody days. I feel like it's one of those like Budapest bathhouses where you just want to bathe in this bloody market. That's kind of disgusting. But what are we looking at?
Yeah, I don't go to bathhouses in Budapest. Those things, the stories weird me out. Before we look at the markets, we always have to start by checking my name. It was brought to my attention the last time I was on. I had quite the ridiculous name given to me via the Nictator. Today, Tim T.A. Man Taylor. I'm going to rock with it. Of course, it's a cool name for me. Of course, you guys know this is based off of Home Improvement, but those who know me, my wife's name is Taylor, and my business partner and Investing Bro's name is Taylor. So Tim T.A. Man Taylor it's fitting, but we might need a vote. Should this be the long-term name, or should Charty McChartface be the long-term name? We do need the chat.
I like McCharty McFartface or Chartface. Sorry, but
don't
also
don't do Charty McFartface.
Are we a Swiftie? Is the question.
Me, no. The wife Taylor, yes. And knowing T Shroom, I could see T Shroom being a Swiftie. That would make sense.
Well, let's hope maybe these charts look like the Eras Tour, which has completely pumped our economy over the last 3 months. So give us some good levels. What are we looking at?
Well, in that case, the Eras Tour did really good, and it's on its way down. Taylor Swift tickets heading downhill. At this point, boyfriend Travis Kelce is outshining her with his recent win in the divisional round. Chiefs going to
you will
the AFC.
Never outshine Taylor. Okay, that is disrespectful to the Swifties out there. You can never outshine Taylor ever. You get it right. Tim.
All right.
Roll the Pfizer ad.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's get into charts though. Let's get into charts. There's some lines we even talked about yesterday on my afternoon show in Investing Bros, but I kind of graded some levels down below. I'll just kind of start with like a 10,000 foot view. This level right here. Solid buy. We just kissed it here yesterday. I'll go into some shorter time frames. We're bouncing at the moment. I'll show you guys where we could potentially get up to. But anyone who's purchasing in this $38,000 range, this is the range I told you guys to look out for, because we weren't going to just barely fill the CME gap. We were going to go below it. So this first range, definitely a solid buy, in my opinion, long term, when we're talking about a potential $150,000 to $250,000 price prediction for Bitcoin. Good level down here, 34,000. There's going to be a lot of things coming in here. We definitely have some intriguing order blocks. We have on High Block Capital. I know Josh and I both love looking at High Block Capital. Got some juicy liquidations at 34,000. If you're patient enough and you want to wait, okay. DZ, this is an adult show. Yeah. I'm going to need you to refrain from the Snickers and stick with the TA.
Stop
here.
having
Joshua
so much fun and laughter on a red day, okay?
I'm sorry, Joshua.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right. If you're patient enough to wait for a very significant level, in my mind, this one probably is I don't know if my dry powder is going to make it past here. This is the former resistance level from back here in July. It was also the former resistance after a retest back in June of 2022. This range, it's the largest range, starting up there towards 32,000, that 31.9 level, could drop as low as 30,000. And is also coming in right around the Fibonacci 0.5 level on the pullback here. That's kind of, to me, the most attractive range. There is the golden pocket range down here at 28. You're going to hear a lot of people talking about that one. That, to me, is kind of a fake out zone. Like, hey, if we lose this significant level, which a lot of people think we're going to get, and people are waiting for 25,000, which in my opinion would be amazing buy level for Bitcoin. I just don't think we're going to get there. This could be the perfect 28,000. Hey, people think it's going to stop before that. We go a little bit further. Everyone capitulates waiting for a buy-in at 25,000, a price level that never comes. The institutions buy in the golden pocket and move the price to the upside. So those are the levels we're looking at. But like I said, when I start to look at some confluence here, a lot of stuff come in here. I do think 34 is a very interesting level. I really like, again, down towards the 0.5. This kind of fits with some longer term historical analysis we've done where, again, pre-halving, Bitcoin has itself a nice pullback. I've told you guys, my opinion is this isn't as severe as the last one. It got to 50%. My goal was somewhere between 30 and 40. Well, this range starts at about 35 and at its bottom gets to pretty much 38, 40%. We could go to 42 again to that golden pocket area, but that to me is where I'm really looking in the long term to be acquiring more Bitcoin. Grayscale still has a lot left. GBDC still has a lot of supply left. With their fees, it makes no sense why people would leave their money in GBDC instead of at least moving it over to one of these newer spot ETFs. So I think we have more bleeding to come. However, what I will say is in the short term, I do think we're seeing a bounce here. You guys, we talked about that little level right there, 38.4. We've kissed it here just perfectly. When I pull up the other indicators, you are going to see on Lux Algo, we've had a couple of nice little things pop up for us. First of all, the momentum has gotten killed here. We have this orange X coming in. We are hitting the reversal band for a second significant time. Yeah, sometimes you keep trickling down, but on the second time, we're just screaming at the moment. We're overextended here on lower time frames. When I pull up the oscillators, I'm really liking what I'm seeing over here. The first thing I'm noticing here, Lux Algo Oscillator, really cool feature we have here is that the money flow still technically in the red, but just turned over. We have bullish divergence, a bullish reversal dot, and then this highlighted portion right here. That comes in when there's excessive amount of sellers when red, and if it turns light green on the green side, that's excessive amount of buyers, right? So that momentum really pushes to the upside. However, when that momentum starts to leave, we had a lot of sellers come in to help push us down, but as they start to lead the market, relief bounces often come. We have bullish divergence, as I said here on RSI, and then this feature right here, RSI multi-length. This is a free indicator, an oscillator with Lux Algo. We are screaming that we right now, it came back up, but these lowest dips were 100% oversold territory. So we're seeing a lot of bullish flashes on the indicators mixed with a key support level. And at the end of the day, Josh, while we are expecting lower prices, NDZ, when we're expecting lower prices, we never see price dip to those levels in a straight line. There's always going to be some volatility where we do some bouncing and we come back up and retest former support levels as resistance, and we make our way back down. I am expecting
down Christmas tree pattern.
I've never called it that, but if that's what you want to call it, Nick Tater, we can name it the laying down Christmas tree. Yeah, we'll go for it. But I mean, that's just how markets move. I mean, even look back here. Yeah, we had some pretty explosive growth, but then you come up here and you do have some little pullbacks, some choppiness. It wasn't just a straight up, straight line up to 49,000. There's volatility, and it's going to be the same way. I mean, just go back and look again. If we're going to be anywhere similar to our historical past, pretty explosive move up to that golden pocket when we got to 14,000 almost. But look at the price action on the way back down. It dropped 50% over a period of a couple of months, but it didn't do it in a straight line. Not going to be surprised. Again, this is the pre-halving pullback that everyone was thinking. Like, there was even borderline thought like, hey, is the halving priced in? Well, maybe it was a little priced in. I think we could possibly get back up to this level around, if not right after halving time. But what we're going to do is dip down, come back down, let the whales and institutions reload their bags, and then we'll start to pump back up to the upside. So, it's all about choosing a level here that you want to go with. I will say, you're going to see right here, Bitcoin in trouble. If we lose this amazing zone, if we lose 25,000, that's a pretty rough break of structure, guys. In a macro kind of turn, we really made three major moves from the bottom. We've come up here. Oh, I did grab the wrong line. I meant to grab my... I know, it's the worst. All right, we made this first major move right here. Up, you can make the argument towards 32. We pulled back down towards 25. Now this third move, 1, 2, 3 move to 49. A pullback should not drop below 25. That's why I really like this area around 30. You're going to see a support level right there, maybe a little bit lower than that towards the golden pocket. But if we start to drop below this level, if we come down and break 25,000, we have broken that bullish structure. There's a chance that the bears of the world start to make a case if they're saying that we could come back down and test new lows. I'm not saying it's a 100% official, because there is some interesting liquidations around 23,000 on the long term. But the problem is you've broken the bullish structure that is the higher highs and higher lows time span. This is something that's stuck with us historically. If we lose this, I'm not saying sell all your Bitcoin and run for the hills, but I'm saying that would be a major bearish catalyst, which could potentially hold us back from some parabolic highs. That case, you start to bring back into question, can 6 figures even be hit in this bull market on Bitcoin?
All right, and I will say this, I see this bull flag pennant on the weekly, Tim, and it looks like we broke out of this. Now, about 3/4 the time you will break to the upside, about 1/4 the time it will break to the downside. This is usually bullish. Is this giving you any concern, any pause? I don't know if you can see it on my screen.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, so not long term. Again, I think that this major move is a little over. I think we're waiting for a pullback. What's concerning to me would be the Heikin-Ashi candles. For the first time, this is kind of confirmation to me. This is what I was waiting for to say the top was in. Currently, we have a second red week coming, but that's not important. We still have a long week left. We could do a lot of things. The fact that last week closed red on Heikin-Ashi candles, that's a pretty big factor. Historically, I was showing Investing Bros community yesterday. There's one example back here in January where after a lot of green Heikin-Ashi candles, we had one very, very ineffective. It is a doji candle, meaning indecision. It slightly turned red and then we continued on. Other than that, you do not see 1 or 2 red candles. You're seeing at least 3 of them, if not more. And I can tell you this right now, this is not a doji candle. That's not an indecision candle. That's a pretty strong bearish candle. So to me, I think we're definitely looking at a couple more red weeks before we see another green Heikin-Ashi candle. And again, key levels we're looking at, we have former untapped resistance levels. I mean, this was a hard level of resistance going all the way back to May of 2022, and we just blew through it like it was wet toilet paper back here in October. It makes sense to come back and retest it before the real bullishness happens. Why is that? Because we can. Institutions who understand that Bitcoin is the future of wealth are not going to let a golden opportunity slip through their fingers to buy some $30,000 Bitcoin again. They're just not going to let that go. So be prepared. Again, I'm not saying you have to wait for everything. In fact, I would advise still a strong DCA strategy at some of these other levels, like the solid and the good levels. But keep some dry powder on there for the great. Not that I want to give you financial advice. You decide for yourself. But I based off of historical analysis and the way these institutions in Wales move, there's a lot of evidence pointing to at least that $31,000 range getting hit again.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm going to be standing at this point too. It's, we've seen Bitcoin definitely drop already like 20-25%. And if you actually look back between, when we were at 20 to 25K, then 25K to 30K, there was two major moments between 24, I think it was like 24.9 and 30K, where Bitcoin kept touching it, dropping 20%, and went back up, touch it, dropped 20%. One of those times was actually Silicon Valley Bank, I think right before we moved up to those levels. And so seeing these pullbacks, I honestly believe are just truly healthy in these markets. And we saw a lot of, maxed open interest. We were at a really high volume rate for it. We were seeing oversold, oscillators almost on every single category. And of course, we had the retail FOMO and the hype going into the ETF was going to be this monstrous run up to, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 before that Bitcoin halving. So I think honestly, this is truly healthy. And what is also healthy, guys, is making sure that all 900 of you guys go smash that like button on this video and to show that you appreciate this. Tim, thank you for coming on with the charts here. It looks like Tim, the TA man, is taking the lead on it. So, they are giving you, the easy out, I think.
I do think so, Tim.
You do think so?
Home improvement reference there.
He does think so.
All right. Well,
I don't watch.
Have a good show, everybody.
I watch IKEA.
All right, all the old people know what we're talking about. I do want to share my screen real quick. Home Improvement actually has crypto ties. For those who don't know, just fun little fact: he was caught up in crypto scams. The eldest of the three sons. You might recognize him from Fast and Furious 3: Tokyo Drift. He was the jerk high school student in the opening scene. He had a crypto scam, and then the fans. I'd watched him for years as a child, and when he scanned me, it felt like a gut punch. Maybe don't buy your cryptos from child actors.
Child actors that,
when you think of, all right, you can think of people who got it really going on, right? They got it together. Where's child actors in that hierarchy? Maybe it's not high. That's all I'm going to say. Maybe it's not high.
You do have our boy Brock Pierce here from, one movie glory. What is it? The Mighty Ducks child actor.
Yeah, he was good.
He's behind
like
Tether.
CEO. Yeah.
So, now has he done a lot of questionable things and been arrested for things in Spain that we should probably not talk about on stream? Yes. Wow. So we'll see how it ends up. That's just one out of the millions of celebrities you should not trust here. On top of this, guys, we have, of course, you guys know the $1 million is potentially coming out of Saudi Arabia. I'm honestly going to give my thoughts here, my opinion, because I have my own opinion on these markets right now, and I like to just kind of keep to those opinions, just because, while we talk about all the news, all the levels, everything, this is one of those points in just market cycles where we've dealt with this. If you guys have read Benjamin Graham's Chapter 8, Psychology of the Markets, we're seeing on Twitter, you see this fluctuation. You also see it in the Fear and Green Index, which I'll pull up. And when markets start to pull back, you'll start getting some denial. And then you'll start getting the panic tweets,
that's not just a river in Egypt. I'm sorry. I already crapped all over the joke. I'm done. I should have just left the first time.
Once we found out 200K Bitcoin was selling. But what I mean by that, guys, is I call them the sideliner posts, which is, influencers that were probably telling you to buy at the top or probably telling you to sell at the bottom. And now they really don't know where it's going to go. So they're going to start saying, what do you believe is going to happen? Is Bitcoin going to go to 30K or is it going to go to 60K? Is it going to go to 25K or is it going to go to 38K? They start putting out these tweets that are very indecisive, and that ultimately just brings this emotional stress and causes a lot of people to sit on the sidelines here. So the Fear and Greed Index, guys, right now is sitting at 50. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, finally. It's been
greedy too long.
Yeah, so greedy. And a lot of people don't like this metric. It's basic. It doesn't that work. It actually follows market sentiment pretty much to the T on social media. And I love tracking that because the last time we were at 50, guys, I'll have to pull it up on my Twitter. We were sitting at $27,000 Bitcoin. So just think of it in that range. If we were at 27K Bitcoin, what would the fear and greed index be at? Like -9? It'd be like we've dropped really from 77, 80 at 49K down to 50. We're talking really bad numbers. So even worst case scenario, I think the most amount of bleed, the most amount of fear, the most amount of FUD, if that is really that's why I'm starting a dollar cost average. I think we're at dollar cost average range.
All right. Well, let's give maybe a little bit of hopium here. Bitcoin expected to mirror historical trends. Glassnode sets a $120,000 price prediction, not for 2025, but for this year, everybody. It's a little bit higher than where I'm coming in at. I think we hit 80 around December. 83, 85. I forget what my exact number is. So 120 coming in pretty bullish here. And they're just looking at, previous breakouts and what we can expect, looking at some Fibonacci levels. So 120K Bitcoin, I think we're all going to feel pretty good. And then that's when that greed is going to be real, real high. And that's where we're all going to say, I think it goes higher. And, not enough of us will take profits there. We do have Hong Kong is going to have a Bitcoin conference Asia this year. It's not going to be the main one. So Bitcoin Asia dates have been confirmed May 9th through the 10th. I know who's going to be there. Moon and Papa. He's based nearby. So, we'll be checking that out.
Yeah. And this is bullish too, because you guys know there's the rumors of the Hong Kong based ETF launching. So kind of think about, hey, okay, Hong Kong or China's now starting to look to open up and host this conference. Is this have something to do with maybe a more major announcement coming up?
Yeah, and it's in May, and a good way to be able to afford this trip, go ahead, do your taxes. Get it in before April 15th. If you got a refund, especially if you have some kids, like many of the people here that work at this channel, hey, you get a little funds. I bet you could turn that trip into Asia. One, you get an awesome experience. But two, you're probably going to learn a whole lot.
Yeah.
And check out Decrypted.tax. Just go there. Just go to Decrypted.tax. Go ahead, put a tab open, bookmark that tab because it is very, very important. Let's not neglect that.
Yeah, guys, the link's in the description. Trust me, I know you're going to procrastinate till the weekend of, but just put it on that bookmark, open it up on the tab, at least put it on your screen so it reminds you guys, do your taxes. Because the last thing you want to do in crypto, I promise you this, especially if you're new, is get to the tax guy at the end of this and then be like, oh, he's going to be like, how many wallets do you have? How many trades have you made? All of a sudden, you get all this stress, all this anxiety, and you start panicking. So guys, it's a free consultation. Open up the tab. Just start getting ready and prepare yourself for tax.
All right, we got another instance of bad crypto surveys. I'm just going to turn that into a thing because I feel like we do this once, twice a week because, it's always leaning way too bullish or it's leaning way too bearish. If it's bearish, if it's talking about Bitcoin's environmental impact, and it's bullish if it talks about adoption, because there's always these bad crypto surveys. Well, now we have another bad crypto survey. This one saying the amount of global cryptocurrency owners rose to 34% in 2023. It rose 34% in 2023 to 580 million people now interact with crypto, up from 432 million at the start of the year. Why? Well, we're seeing inflation, we're seeing geopolitical conflicts, we're seeing a lot of growth through 2023. I wonder who made this survey. It's crypto.com. Okay, so maybe you shouldn't trust a crypto.com survey on crypto adoption. That's just my thought there.
I don't know if the audio works, but I hit the survey says.
Hold on, I'm getting another call. Oh, I got a call. This is from beaniebabies.com. They say 1 out of 10 adults own Beanie Babies. Oh, thank you, beaniebabies.com, for those accurate statistics. So, that's just my take there. What do we think the real number is? Chat. What is the real number of crypto adoption? Nick, I want your take. Give me a percentage. What percentage of people on Earth, there's around 8 billion people, what percentage have used crypto? Is it 10% yet?
Oh, God, no.
No, I think.
Okay, where are we getting some of these numbers?
We got to let, definitely Chan answer this, guys. Give us percentages. Start spamming 27, 17, 13, 14, whatever you need to do. Let us know what you guys think. Because you have to think about the amount of transactions taking place, right? Let's say there's 500 million. Well, how many of those, and you guys may not know this, and it's completely okay. We're getting down to technical questions, but how many are just users with 26 wallets? Or, bots that are integrating, 1,000 or a million wallets.
Yeah, it's got 10,000 wallets trying to claim an airdrop.
Yeah. So how do you calculate that? Is that, factored into this? I don't know. It kind of feels like, when you're watching Fox News or CNN, they're like, survey says, this person has a chance of 99% chance of winning. It's
survey says Nikki Haley has any fans.
She's 100% chance she's going to take this election. You're like, okay, well, who do they survey? oh, it was her family members and her direct donors. Oh, well, is that not biased? You know, it's the same exact thing.
People love their Beanie Babies. Okay. I didn't know we had so many. You know what? It makes sense. If you're of a certain age and you're into collectibles, you're into crypto right now. Me, I went the Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, but some people, the Beanie Baby craze.
For me, it was the Pokemon cards. But, you know, speaking of bailing on Pokemon cards and childhood-loving items because, you know, we just didn't realize they'd be worth, you know, disgusting amount of money in the future. Bailing is DeSantis here may leave, of course, deafening crypto silence in 2024 presidential race. The Florida governor here and Vivek Ramaswamy have been the most strident Republican voices on digital assets issues for 2024, but both gave way to Trump's political juggernaut. So Florida Ron DeSantis, guys, may not have been a crypto authority, but he embraced digital assets as a political tool and ensured his influential state made moves to support this.
Impression?
Let me see
Guys,
it.
I've had too much caffeine. All right. Here's my DeSantis impression.
Wait.
Let me put on my shoes.
I thought he was gonna do the there's the other one. Like
does he wear heels?
You gotta do the face camera.
Does he wear heels? That's all people don't want to know about CBDCs. They don't want to know about his track record as a governor in Florida. They don't want to know about him battling Disney. They don't want to know any of that. They don't want to know about his JAG experience in the Navy. They want to know, is he wearing heels?
Well,
and
it's
that's just the state of American politics.
For me, it's like one of and that's why we're pro-life. You know,
no, you got to like grimace a little and look like you're on cocaine.
Yeah, it is what it is. But here we go. His absence, guys, and that fellow candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy, marks a sudden lack of crypto interest in this year's U.S. presidential race. I'm going to say on this is you have Robert Kennedy, you know, pushing for this. Vivek Ramaswamy is now campaigning for Trump. Trump is literally, people keep saying he's not the most pro-crypto president. Guys, he's got NFT collections. His wife has NFT collections. I mean, we're talking about somebody that, yes, he has said things about pro-US dollar in the past, but as a capitalist and someone that's running a business, he obviously has changed his mind over the years.
What color is Bitcoin?
I think, where would you be going with this? Maybe yellow?
Orange. Oh, come on.
Man, Bitcoin got a spray tan. No, it's, yeah, exactly, guys. Orange coin good? Is that
I think that's how, hey, it sounds good, right? So it must be true.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, the SEC, this is absolutely wild. So, you know, let's move into a little bit of corruption here. The SEC, you know, everybody's favorite three-letter agency in crypto. You know, we all love Gary Gensler. He's been a huge advocate. He has supported us. He's been there for us and all of us retailers since day one in crypto. He's definitely never done anything to threaten that. Guess what? You know, of course, they were hacked before this ETF approval. It turns out, and it was revealed, that this happened because they turned off multi-factor verification themselves. The people that were tweeting about getting two-factor authentication, approaching digital security, protecting your social media accounts, these people turned it off. So I'm curious just to know, they said this was a SIM swap attack. Do you think this guy was on purpose? Do you think it was just government negligence? Or do you just think the people overall running this agency have no idea what they're doing and should not be protecting people with digital assets?
It's what it normally is, rogue Verizon employee or T-Mobile or whatever. They probably have Verizon. It's probably a rogue Verizon employee.
Why Verizon? Why not T-Mobile, AT&T?
Because it's statistically most probable because they have the largest amount of accounts in America.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Verizon sucks.
I think they beat AT&T. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's different, but they used to.
Phone providers 3 different times in like the last 2 years because everywhere I move, the monopoly on that is so annoying. Like you go from California, you need Verizon because the mountains cut out AT&T terribly, and T-Mobile like only works in the valleys. Like you're not getting it. Then you move to Florida, it's like Verizon. Like I'm like on one bar, standing on the top of my roof, hoping it's not a windy day out or raining because I'm not getting service. So I had to switch to AT&T. Then you have to switch to T-Mobile out here, apparently. So it's just been this roller coaster of monopolies I've been dealing with. But speaking of tornadoes and just all of this wind and circulation, guys, arrested Tornado Cash developer urges for help on video. So Roman Storm was the second Tornado Cash developer arrested 1 year after Alex Pritsev, the first both open source code writers, are still in prison fighting a legal battle against their respective authorities. This is a huge story that, you know, probably a lot of you have actually heard, but I honestly just feel like these individuals with Tornado Cash, there's still plenty of cash wallet, like Tornado wallets out there that, you know, disrupt transactions. They were trying to set an example. This was the government clearly stopping it like a Ross Ulbricht saying, hey, what you've invented, even though it's not up to you, you're just a coder, you're going to face life in prison just because we're going to use you as an example to try to really push regulations by enforcement. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, but that's really what I see out of this.
We're largely free speech absolutists with, of course, obvious limits. And to me, this is a free speech issue and they should be free. If I was president, I would lean on the Danish authorities, I believe, to say, hey, let's go ahead and do something about this. Let's free these guys. I'd be threatening to withhold support over something like this.
Yeah. So it's someone he's asking to raise money essentially to help him with his legal fees here. On top of this, today we have Meta, guys, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, which I really don't need to.
Sweet baby raise.
Watch out,
man.
Maxine Waters.
Nick, I'm curious because I don't think I've talked to you about Maxine Waters. What are your thoughts on Maxine Waters?
I'll pull up the picture.
I know he's got the picture. Do you have any thought?
I think Maxine Waters is a how do I put this?
Inside trader.
She's an operator.
Share my screen real quick. It's just a little tale that will tell here. Maxine Waters criticized for praising SBF, but if we go to here, what's the top headline? Maxine Waters doesn't plan to subpoena Bankman.
No.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it looks like, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pull up that image again. I just want to zoom in on Maxine there and her little donor friends. Guys, this is how politics work. Okay, if you for some reason like politicians and trust politicians, you need to stop liking and trusting politicians. I mean, it's the same thing, repetition after repetition after repetition. Inside trading, getting on a committee, having access to a free market, as Nancy Pelosi would say. If you can trade, why can't I? It's like, well, you're passing the rules and legislation on what we can and can't do as retailers. Maxine Waters over here is literally double dipping her toes and being paid off by Sam Bankman-Fried, and then being like, you know what? I'm not going to subpoena you. I don't actually think you did anything wrong. Like, where's the conflict of interest in this?
Well, let's hope Fetterman stands up against this. I think Fetterman might be one of the main voices on the left that will fight this type of stuff. And Fetterman also just reintroduced the bill to ban stock trading for congressional members. I think every American thinks is a good idea.
Is it at all surprising that as a grown man regains brain function, he becomes more conservative?
I see where you're going with that one. I don't want to, look, people have different policies. I think he's a great Democrat for Pennsylvania, so I think he's doing a good job out there. If you asked me a year and a half ago, I'd said, isn't he like brain dead? But now he's the only one saying things that make sense, it seems like. Bug that took down 8%. 8% of ETH validator sparks worries about even bigger outage. I think this is the validators. Some people are pretty happy about this. It just had one of those moments where the big story is where it didn't go wrong. A client software bug used by the validators of the blockchain to interact with the network knocked out a chunk of the key operators on Sunday. Manageable incident, but the episode revived long simmering debate within the ETH ecosystem for client diversity. Nethermind looks like it went out, powers around 8% of the validators that operate Ethereum, and this bug was critical enough to pull those validators offline. Stayed up and running despite the issue. Then they release a patch fixing things within hours. So what are your thoughts on this, Josh?
Well, so it comes down to Geth, which is going to actually, guys, this is where centralization is a huge issue. This is why I say decentralization is a masquerade. It's often used and propped up by marketing agencies to pump the VC bags. And this is a huge case with Ethereum. Now, I think Ethereum is going to be here in 5 years, of course, right? But it doesn't prevent the actual facts and statistics that 85% of Ethereum's validators are currently powered by Geth. And the recent outages to smaller execution clients have renewed concerns that Geth's dominant market position could pose grave consequences if there's ever issues with the programming. Essentially, depending on the nature of the bug, a Geth glitch could halt the entire network, rendering it impossible for validators to ever add new blocks to the blockchain. So this is the overall network clients for execution with the transactions. You have Geth at 84%, actually not 85%, Nethermind at 8%, Sue at 4%, and Aragon at 1.69%. So Ethereum is highly, highly, highly centralized. And don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, is this something that's to be concerned with? The reality is this. Actually, most networks are very centralized. They rely on Amazon Web Services or some other third party to manage the majority of those validators. Bitcoin miners, you have like 5 or 6 mempools that make up the majority. In fact, 1 or 2 of them probably collectively make up 40 to 50%. So it centralizes quickly in certain factors and areas of these industries. And you just can't let it FUD it out, and also let it make you FOMO in. Oh, this is a decentralized currency of the world. There is actual key issues behind the scenes happening here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you see the same thing. There's centralization issues, I think, with every aspect of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum. I see some Cardano comments here. I mean, Cardano is probably a pretty good situation, but then you would say, well, what about IOG and, Cardano Foundation? Someone else, this never happened and will not to Cardano. What was that note? All right, guys, we got just over 250 likes But I think if we get to 333, we can push this number up, get us into the thousands here. So let's go ahead.
And I gotta,
if you just now joined in, we put out crypto content every day of the week. And so hit that like button if you want to stay ahead of the market.
And yeah, of course, guys, you know the drill. 350 likes. I got another website I want to show everybody today. But we have to hit 350 likes. I'm going to be trying to show you guys a new website almost every single day, Monday through Friday.
Rotten.com.
But we have to hit that 350. So yeah, we'll be going rotten.com. Man, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. I tried.
Rotten Tomatoes. It's for the old heads.
Tomatoes.
Man.
Yeah,
it's like
but guys,
AOL discs.
Hey, we have most Ethereum staking pools. We know it's centralized here. Ultimately, we have Aave V3 ready for Solana. So we're gonna be moving into some altcoin talks here. Should you be accumulating some of these altcoins? What are the good levels? Are they down 30, 40, 50%? Aave here, guys. V3 ready for Solana after this crucial vote pass. So for you guys DeFi holders, the Aave community overwhelmingly approved a proposal that will set the ball rolling for the deploying of Aave version 3 on Solana, a smart contracts platform you guys all know about. So this is a huge moment just for DeFi, of course, in Solana. The DeFi ecosystem is rising. I believe Solana is going to still be a large contender for that top 10 in this next bull run. However, I believe the DeFi on almost every system, I'm a huge advocate for Bitcoin DeFi. There's been lots and lots of breakthroughs. Of course, it's still slow, it's still clunky, but that's where money's flooding into. So we've been picking up a lot of DeFi over the last year and a half. The same thing goes with all these other ecosystems. If you have a favorite altcoin that's popping off, whether it's Celestia or Arbitrum or a Solana, you really want to pay attention to the DeFi and the total value lock that's increasing there and the integrations with liquidity, because the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50Xs are often going to be found within the ecosystems of your favorite projects.
Glassjar.gif. All right, we do have some good news for EigenLayer as well. EigenLayer plans shared security model for dApp. So if you're in the EigenLayer ecosystem, this is going to be good because they have let me find the number here, $1.7 billion that is staked here, ETH3 staked on EigenLayer. So if you have a smaller protocol, you can use or leverage their ecosystem, and that way it's just harder to exploit. You would need $1 billion capital as an attacker to go and attack any one service. There's a certain rigidity, a certain hardening of security when you pull security together. So if you're an up-and-coming chain, you don't need tons and tons of funds to prevent any bad actors from taking down your chain. So EigenLayer got a really big upgrade, and Cosmos has really good news, I would say. The Atom inflation reduction proposal. So
that's bad news.
Oh, bad news. Oh my God. I thought they were reduced. Oh, I haven't even read this yet. Yeah. I thought they were talking about curbing inflation. I'm sorry. Curbing the expansion of it. No, they're curbing the inflation.
Yeah. It's kind of like Jerome Powell just joined the board or something and just wants to print more money. But the Cosmos community members have voted down a proposal to reduce the inflationary pressure on the Atom token in scenarios where 2/3 of the coin supply is bonded on the network. Proposed by Stake Lab, proposed 868 aim to introduce a drastic change to the network's economic policy by decreasing the inflation minimum parameter from 7% to 0%. Voting on the proposal opened on January 9th and, of course, closed on January 23rd. Particularly, the voting results here obviously voted in favor. But a Cosmos Guys Hub will likely continue to be a subject of significant discussions this year, given that some contributors want it as low as possible. So it's not the all end, ends all meets all to this. Generally, how proposals works, there will be multiple proposals that take place, and you got a community, you got a collective group, and however many of those are actually coming from the foundation, that's going to be a question you want to really look into. But of course, they're going to kind of try to adjust. Maybe they go from 7% down to 4%, and then in another year or 2 years, they go from 4% to 1%. And it's a slow traction, a slow proposal process. So kind of like the government, but works a lot quicker.
We got a couple other, Injective has a pretty good upgrade too with its gas compression. So if you're an Injective, check that out. So we got good news on there as well. But this next story really got me bullish. Hedera to allocate 4.86 billion HBAR. Where's HBAR right now? What's HBAR's price? To bolster ecosystem growth. So this is going to be good. 4.28 billion or 4.25 essentially billion here going to be distributed amongst these initiatives championing the cause of the Hedera network development. Let me just say the big heavyweights here. Who uses HBAR, their hash technology? A little company called Google, a little company called Boeing, and a little company called IBM. And they use it because it's hashgraph technology, which is faster and safer. It was astounding 10,000 transactions per second and rapid settlement times there. What's HBAR's price right now?
HBAR is currently sitting at 6.69 cents.
Okay. So if it was $1, we're looking at 4 billion. If it was 10 cents, you'd be looking at 480 billion or 480 million, and we're about 60% of that.
It's
around $250 million.
It's a lot of marketing funds, and honestly,
$250 million. That's
if Mance or anybody or Lehman's actually watching this, or someone can send this to them, I really hope they just take this marketing part and start honestly, it's not on them. They really don't care about necessarily the community.
Let me get people really bullish.
They're a commercial project.
I don't know if this is going to happen. This is what gets me bullish. Highlight this real quick. IBM, Google, Boeing. I predict this $250 million that they're giving away. I predict that there's some number of engineers at each of these three companies and the other ones that are in charge of, hey, you're the one in charge of the Hedera hash graph. We got a team of 7 people. How many of those engineers are going to break off and do their own thing and then build on HBAR, leveraging their connections with Boeing, leveraging their Google connections, IBM connections, and then building the next big DApp on that platform?
So I would love to believe it's a lot. I've been a long time HBAR-barian. I held from 2 cents to 70 cents or whatever, ended up hitting in this market. Made a lot of money off HBAR. It wasn't one of the best performers, but it did really, really well. I would really love to see them start pivoting more towards the marketing aspect and community development. So really bringing the incentivization of NFTs and communities. And if you want that network activity, you got to market properly. HBAR hasn't necessarily, I would not argue that they've failed in any means. Some people will say that, because they haven't performed as good. They're a very commercialized, industrialized network. They're focusing on their 39 council members, like you mentioned. That's Boeing, Google, IBM, Tata Communications, massive banks around the world. They have some of the largest companies out there part of this council. I would personally love to see a lot more marketing coming from those partnerships. What's IBM actually developing? Why is Boeing, the largest government contractor in the world, utilizing the system on chain? I would like to see more marketing around that to be like, hey, our network's real. It's providing this a set amount of value. Come build here. And I'm really hoping to see that from this $500 million. Will we get it? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And I'm looking at some of the other names. Those were the big names, but there's a couple other small ones on there, and maybe some of these are bigger than you might even think.
Yeah.
Saison.
I think even Chainlink joined the council here this year. But speaking of stablecoins here, guys, we got XRP crash fears amounts as whale dumps, 26 million tokens. This is back and forth. Whales are constantly moving in and out of XRP. We dealt with Jed McCaleb, who used to own Taco Stand, which we talked about with MtGOX, right? These are people that have continuously has been dumping against retail for the longest amount of time. Nicole, shout out to you. Woohoo, she says, joining for a member for 1 month. We appreciate you so much. I can't wait for you to watch the member-only stream that we just put out last Friday. We went through our favorite altcoin picks, price predictions, what we're looking to do, our dollar cost average plans, everything on a 30-minute live show. And now every single Friday, I'm super excited for you guys joining us. And I have to get my emojis added in here because I want my my DZ type faces in the chat there. But yeah, guys, XRP moving back and forth. There's nothing crazy here. We get, millions of dollars in transactional volume just moving back and forth. Ripple still, I'd be paying more attention to potentially the IPO, which they are now kind of backing off of, it seems like. David Schwartz did say he prefer the shares over the XRPL. But hey, I'm not going to say this is bearish sentiment because, guys, let's be real. Everything's crashing right now. This, in my opinion, is just an article just within the current FUD system. So, will XRP rebound? Of course.
Speaking of rebounding, Cardano's NFT ecosystem has rebounded, jumped right back into the top 10 of NFT chains, but can it outrun the giants? Looks like a sales volume jumped 18%, largely off. It's not on the article, but the Omen drop. There's Omen for Omen. You know what? Let's just look at it live right after this breakdown. So you see ETH, Solana, Bitcoin, Polygon, Avalanche, Immutable X, Mythos, Flow, BNB chain, and then Cardano. I predict Cardano hit back into the top 10. I think it was flirting with top 3 at some point. And if you go to jpeg.store, this is where you're going to find all the Cardano NFTs. And number 1, you should see Omen for Omen. No, number 2 now. So Tappy. Looks like a lot of people bought some Tappies. Omen's pretty cool art. Let me just say what this series is about. They have 13% royalties, I believe. If we click on that, 13% royalties. And so what you do, get out of my way. If you stake it, you get those royalties paid back to the holders. And so I've seen people claiming, 3 ADA here, 5 ADA here, 15 ADA there. So, little opportunity there.
Yeah. So I'm going to be pulling this up here. I started pulling up this website as well. Guys, we're almost at 350 likes. So just keep smashing that like button. We can hit it really quick. And I promise you, I'll show you guys this website here. We're just about there. But from chat here, I'm holding my XRP. That's coming from 510 here. I've been holding XRP now for, I don't even know, 5 years at this point. Again, great investment early on. Now we're $30 billion. So it's definitely one of those large cap positions here. We had saw Sad say, so SBF and Celsius crashed the market twice. So this is the thing about SBF, guys. A lot of that money is the same money between Celsius, SBF, Silicon Valley Bank, Silver. People forgot about what was it? Silvergate. A lot of that money was kind of flowing and lending and borrowing against each other, and had all of these ins and outs with one each other, like the 2008 financial crisis. So we're going to see those repercussions or the effects of that probably still for even the coming years. Like we just saw MtGOX start selling off their Bitcoin. So that's another 200,000 Bitcoin going to go to creditors. And guess what? Only some of that goes back to the creditors and the retail. A lot of that is going to go to the United States government. Think about that, right? So now, is this bearish in the sense, oh, we got to panic sell and run out these doors like the Easy did a little bit earlier? No, because of course, in the sense, guys, when these go through these lawsuits and these court systems, generally they're going to have to go through OTC. They'll get priced in, and then of course you have whales that have been watching Bitcoin go from 0 to 40K that are like, hey, I'll buy that at a discount, auction it off to me.
We have one final story that you guys are going to love. Well, get a question in or two. This one we just had to mention. A meme coin was in a certain ex-president's wallet. This ex-president, known for dropping an NFT collection. Of course, we're talking about Donald J. Trump. A meme coin in Donald Trump's wallet made a 150x. Here's the details and his entire portfolio. What coin are we talking about?
Biden coin. Oh,
we're talking about Trump, the Trump meme coin. I think it's the ticker. You see it under MAGA. They got 7,000 total. What is that worth? A cool $1 million, marking a 150-fold increase. He got 5,000 of it. 5.6K around August. 2 months later, he got another 1.5K, and then that did a staggering 15,000% pump. And he also has a little bit of Polygon in there. But yeah, I think it's just hilarious. He was sent Trump by the team here. If we scroll up here, let me see. Trump received it from the team between August and October 2023. So the team sent him, hey, here's 7K, Donald. That 7K turned into $1 million. That's crypto for you.
Yeah, it's that's literally crypto for you. Meme coins could just go absolutely parabolic to the moon. That's a token I'd still honestly watch. Like, I don't like a lot of meme coins, but the reality is there's a Biden coin or a Trump coin. When it gets to elections, like, those are going to move. They're going to be marketed heavily. People are going to be betting on them, kind of like, not only are they betting on, it's not even like, it's pure speculation completely, but it's going to be like that gambler's addiction where they're like, hey, if this wins, this could potentially 10x here.
Zico, I haven't moved anything in the 10K portfolio because we really haven't seen any paradigm shifts of narratives. We've seen a dumping. We saw a little ETF action, but there's no like DeSci, gaming, DeFi, Solana ecos. They're really not seeing anything that's like, oh yeah, this is the big narrative for the week. And, we're kind of more jumping on narratives for that portfolio because, we feel strongly about all the projects. So, we got to be careful moving things around on red weeks right here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Joshua Wolf, let me
Here's the
this.
website here. Yeah, I got the website.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, we're going to give it to them. So this is one of my favorite websites. This is called BitcoinDollarCostAverage.com. And the reason why I wanted to show this today, guys, was just with all of the emotional roller coaster effects going into these markets and you being like, what should I do? Should you listen to some day trader that spends 14 hours a day staring at 1 minute candlesticks saying, hey, this is overbought, this is oversold, we're over leveraged, we're under leveraged, etc.? Or are you going to just, chill out, not have to deal with that emotional roller coaster and have a game plan, right? If you're in crypto, more than likely it's because you go, this Bitcoin thing, I believe it actually can hit that 100, 150K, 6 figures in the coming years. I don't know if that's in 6 months. I don't know if that's tomorrow. I don't know if that's 6 years from now, but I anticipate and do believe in that, right? So, the dollar cost average Bitcoin, if you've never used one of these calculators and you're new, I really recommend just going to these websites and seeing what it would look like, right? Let's go back to, if you started 6 years ago, like a lot of us that have been multi cycles, if you just bi-weekly put a $100 investment into it, let's do semi-monthly, right? Since 2017, you'd be up 228%. You'd have 14,000 in and you'd be up almost $30,000 at that point. Now you can just do this any year, right? Any year. It's all about compounding and long-term perspectives. This one would still be, it's no way it'd be 228% still. By semi-monthly, so 94%. So still up, right? Let's go to even 2022. Let's go to 2022, right? Semi-monthly, 40%. And while those aren't the sexy numbers that people are saying, that's not my 10x, it's not my 40, you're not going to get that on Bitcoin, right? but the emotional stress that comes from you seeing Bitcoin go to 49K, you getting this urge to FOMO in, and everybody telling you that this Bitcoin ETF is going to be the largest thing and catalyst that will send us on this massive bull run for years to come, and then immediately see a 20, 30% drop, and now see the same people say, you know what, well, probably shouldn't touch this until 25K. Markets are down 30%. Use these calculators to remind yourself, guys, these are the opportunities where you're now 30, 40, 50%, down on certain altcoins or, and Bitcoin itself. These are those moments where you probably want to start accumulating, start dollar cost averaging. And if you don't know what dollar cost averaging is, start learning what that actually means. And so that's the website I wanted to share with you guys today. Very important. You should probably send that to a friend that is having issues with emotional investment decisions. So
3 days ago, we put out a video, share my screen here, become a meme coin millionaire. It's like buying Doge at 1 cent. I just checked here. This one, we're up 20% today. It's 18 point. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you see it right there. And then Snack up 7%. And then I was on the fence between Bonk and Dog with Hat. And I checked. Bonk is down 5%. And I kind of feel bad. I'm like, oh no, I chose Bonk, But what about Dog with Hat? What is that? Please don't tell me it's up 20%. No, it is down 20%. So we feel pretty good. If you jumped in on that meme coin portfolio, don't forget aggressive profit taking with meme coins, everybody. I'm not saying, oh, you got 5% pump, go ahead and take some profits, but just be a little bit more aggressive with your profit taking with meme coins versus, say, Bitcoin, Chainlink, Cardano, some of the stronger projects out there. So, hey, we keep printing wins here. If we get losses, we're going to highlight the losses. Like I said, Bonk, we are down 5%, but we got a 7% pump, 20% pump, 5% dump. And so we're in the green right there.
100%. But
27, 22, up 7.3%. Back, quick math.
20. Wait, how much is that?
It's a 20% pump, 7% pump, 5% decline. So that gives us a 22% pump. And if you divide that by 3 coins, we're going to get a 7.3 with a line over a percent pump. I can do I can do arithmetic very quickly. As soon as you get into, what's pi? I don't know.
I just like being told that you're going to give me money, which is exactly what we're doing, guys, on Discover Crypto's Twitter here. If you guys make sure you guys comment below what your favorite part of the episode was, what your dollar cost averaging into, your favorite altcoins, let us know in the comments to enter our weekly giveaway of $100 for choosing someone in the comments just for supporting us. And of course, guys, on the Discover Crypto Twitter here, if you haven't checked out Blofin, the link's in the description. That's like the best. That's the new KuCoin is what I like to call it. That is where it's got the best altcoins, the best trades. That's what we're using in the Discord, in our Telegrams, in our Twitters. That is what we're utilizing here. We're giving away $500 every single week, to, of course, the best P&L trader in there that is on Blofin. So if you want to figure out how that is, go to the pinned tweet on Twitter. You'll be able to figure out how to enter that. And if you guys have any issues, by the way, we're here to help. So just reach out to us and make sure you guys are commenting us and, just letting us know in the comments there.
Texas math.
But guys, that's what we got. We got the digital music bouncing in the ear. Easy. I think it's time we skip on out of here.
Ow! I was going to say something. That's all I got. Hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing.